several players he would take ahead of the two-time MVP, but the one that got a lot of attention online was Hall of Famer Bill Walton. So this was trending on Twitter all afternoon yesterday. So, Skip, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I would take Bill Walton in playoff games in a heartbeat over what I have not seen from Steph Curry, which is very unclutch. Games 5, 6, 7, 2016. I dare you to go read the box scores and tell me what you see. The crucial turning points, Game 4 and Game 6 at Oracle in the 2019 finals. See what you don't see from Steph. Now let's see what we see from Bill Walton. I'm sure a lot of the younger people, and you're old enough to know what I'm talking about here, they see Bill as this Grateful Dead head in tie-dyed 60s shirts who has turned into this goofball commentator who is liable to blurt out anything at any moment on national TV. Am I right about that? The Bill Walton I closely observed at UCLA and with the Portland Trail Blazers was the flip side of that. In fact, because he had a stuttering problem, he barely even spoke to the media. He was seen as this glowering, menacing presence who played with a supreme edge, and he dominated college basketball and professional basketball until his feet failed him, because fairly quickly both of his feet just gave out underneath him. He had one injury after another. But when he was right, he was much righter than Steph has ever been in the postseason. Cases in point, national championship game, 1973 for the UCLA Bruins against Memphis State. Bill Walton scored 44 points on 21 of 22 shots. 21 of 22 because he was a 7-footer who was as light on his feet as any 7-footer I have ever witnessed. It doesn't matter, white, black, you name it, Bill Walton was it. He was an agile gazelle. He was the greatest passing big man I have ever seen. And he played on a pogo stick because he was such a quick jumper and could block shots and rim protect like nobody out this side of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And the point was, in Portland, they played the Sixers of Dr. J in the finals. I don't know if this is before your time.
I remember they was down 0-2.
Okay, this is Dr. J, this is George McGinnis, this is Doug Collins. I obviously had fame on television thereafter. Henry Bibby, this was World B. Free. This was Kobe's father, who was Joe Belly Bean Bryant. And this was Daryl Dawkins, nicknamed Chocolate Thunder. That's what he was up against. And in the closeout Game 6 in that series, in which he was the finals MVP, Bill Walton went for 20 points, 23 rebounds, 7 assists, and 8 blocks of that lineups featuring Dr. J's All-Stars. Are you kidding me? And he turned that right around the next year and went into the regular season and was the MVP of the NBA. I'm sorry. That guy who played with that edge, who was complete flip side of the guy you see on TV, I'm taking him over Steph Curry any day or night in the postseason.
You do realize that UCLA is not the NBA, so I'm just going to discount that.
Okay, but it was the all-time great finals performance.
Yeah, he was great. He was historic. He was a historically great college player. But Skip, you do realize in '77 he finished second in the MVP. He won the finals. They won the finals MVP. He's also, he come back the next year, he won the regular season MVP, playing 58 of if I'm not mistaken, of a possible 82 ball games. But did you know over the next four seasons, he played a total of 14 games?
I told you his feet failed him.
Okay.
He just fell completely apart.
So Steph has 3 titles to Bill's 1. Steph has 2 MVPs to Bill, and Bill only went to 2 All-Star games. Steph is a 6-time All-NBA player, a 7-time All-Star, the greatest shooter ever lived.
Who would you take one game for your playoff life? Who would you take? Bill Walton or Steph Curry? I got Bill, and I'll beat your butt all day and all night. You can't stop him.
The question is, who is the better player? Steph Curry is a much better player than Bill
all about
Walton.
the postseason, and I haven't seen it from Steph. He has no finals MVP.
The man was great one postseason. He was great one postseason in '77. You do realize he played like 13 years.
I saw it. and I saw him turn it right around into a regular season MVP. You can't tell me, was he more dominant in his time than Steph was in his time? Yes, he was.
No, Skip, stop.
Steph is about oohs and ahs and distance shooting, and he has revolutionized the game as a distance shooter. But when it comes to the postseason, go look at his three-point numbers, games 5, 6, and 7. You benefited. He handed you a championship, you and LeBron, on a silver platter because he stunk it up for 3 straight games.
So what happened the year in 78, he won the MVP of the regular season. They did have it in 78 finals that year. What happened? Why wasn't he a participant?
He was hurt. Okay, I told you his feet failed him. It was tragic. It was sad.
Steph hasn't been hurt? Steph ankles?
He had ankle injuries.
Yeah.
They corrected it.
Yeah.
They got him braces that he still wears that work.
Skip, I don't know how on God's green earth you can make a case that Bill Walton, who basically had 2 healthy seasons, is better than Steph Curry.
Okay, you're not answering my question.
Yeah.
At his apex, who was better, Bill Walton or Steph Curry?
Skip,
at their best.
Skip, his apex only lasted 365 days.
Well, he was the Finals MVP and the regular season MVP. He showed you. He showed you what he was doing in college basketball. He just tore it apart.
Skip, let me ask you a question.
And that was in the years when people stayed for 4.
Has there ever been a guy that went regular season and Finals MVP in the same season? LeBron has done it twice. Michael Jordan has done it several times.
Okay, we're not talking about them.
Has there ever been a unanimous MVP in league history? The one guy on the left has
I'll
been...
take Bill Walton and I'll kick your behind.
No, you won't.
Yes, I
No,
will.
you won't.
Skip, I have a feeling plenty. We'll have more to
You might
say on
smoke us
social
out,
media. I know you
but
don't
you
read
won't
the
beat us.
comments, but I'll share them
Cheap
with
shot.
you tomorrow. Is there a new MVP candidate playing in the basement at Staples Center?
No,
We'll explain
no, stop.
after the break.